We're alive. Do you, yeah, I see your audio's pinging. Looks like. I'm gonna pull up a dummy version of Twitch here. Hey, I see us. Yeah. I can't hear your audio though. Hmm. This was the that was the annoying thing about Twitch Studio. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not. I can hear you. Yeah. It's really weird. I hear myself fine. Hmm. Yes. Okay. Hmm. Oh, it doesn't have properties on it. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yep. Okay, got it. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. I did that. Nothing yet. Are you talking? Okay. No, not yet. Son of a bee sting. Wonder if it's a Zoom issue. Properties. Hmm. Um, in the audio tab. Look within OBS. Hmm. Let me see. Okay, mix. Oh, I see audio settings. Okay. Um. Yeah, this says like audio monitoring. I don't know if that's what I need. It's like audio monitoring. I don't know if that's what I need.
No, I don't. You shouldn't.
Advanced settings.
No, I don't. You should. Like, it should just be under
advanced settings.
Did you find it? No, I don't. You should. Like, it should just
yeah,
be.
I can hear you talking now.
Oh, good. There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you talking now.
Oh, good. There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you talking now.
Oh, good.
Oh, now it's like echoing. What the heck?
Oh no, that was me.
Echoing. What the heck?
Oh no, just to give you an extra viewer, I pulled up the Gambit podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just to give you an extra and I didn't have it muted apparently.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just to give you an extra and I didn't have it muted apparently.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Just to give you an and I didn't have it muted.
Sweet. So it should be. Sweet. Yeah, we should be good to go now.
Yeah,
so
we should
be.
All right.
Yeah, we should be good to go now.
Yeah, we should be. All right.
Sweet, man. Yeah, we should be good. Let's see what happens when I do this. Sweet, man.
Famous last words.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. It's just everything ends. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Star Wars.
Everything ends.
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah.
What about
everything ends.
If so, this may be the podcast for you.
Brick,
Yeah?
you're talking like that again.
Well, we are cutting an introduction for our podcast.
Do you think we should maybe crack a beer first?
I shouldn't. Do it.
All right. You guys could hear that. We had like audio and everything. Look at that. That's amazing. All right. So welcome to episode 49 of the Galaxy of Beeroes podcast. I am Brick Hardmeat, and today I am joined by Solobass15 of the Gambit podcast. What's up, man?
Not much. How are you, sir?
Great. Thanks for popping in and dealing with my audio issues and actually fixing my audio and visual stuff.
Yes. I have to say the hardest part about coming on this is I've tried to grab my beer like 4 times, but I know you guys like to open it on stream.
Oh,
Oh, it's just sitting there.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we like to make you wait, man. So why don't we just get into it, I guess. Let's hop into it and get into the cantina. I wonder. Let me see how fancy I can get here. Let's see if you guys can even. I wonder. Let's see if you. Let me see how fancy I can get here. Let's see if you guys can even.
Found one beforehand. Oh, aren't you right, Mort? Oh, aren't you right, Mort? Oh, aren't you right?
All right. So here we go. Let's get into some Evil Twin Brewing here. This is a special. Here. This is from your neck of the woods, is it not?
Well, technically, Evil Twin is an international brewery, but they have a big brewery in New York, so not too far from me.
Ah, nice. Okay. And yeah, I was able to pick up some here in Michigan, so it worked out pretty good. We're having Falco here from Evil Twin Brewing. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to read you a little blurb about it, but first let's hop into it. Let's have a drink here. Let's crack it.
All right, finally.
I know, all this lip flapping. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Goes down smooth. Fort Mort, what's up, man? Into Schnapps. Welcome, guys. Thanks for hopping in. That's a good beer, man.
It is. I like Evil Twin.
Yeah, I think they brew in. Was it in Connecticut? You told me of another brewery.
Two Roads is in Connecticut.
Two Roads.
Yeah, they don't distribute to you.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this beer. I'll read up a little bit about it. I couldn't find a ton about it. So it's Falco is an American IPA, and it looks like it has a little origami Falco from the I don't know. Maybe it's a video game reference. Who knows? Maybe it's another word in another language. I don't know. But yeah, it's Evil Twin Brewing. This is 7% ABV. Alcohol by volume, no big deal. I know what that acronym stands for. I'm kind of a beer guy, if you guys haven't noticed yet. Actually, I'm not. I'm trying to fill the large beer shoes of my normal co-host, Darth Darket, who's very knowledgeable. But yeah, here's the write-up on it. So what makes a great leader? First of all, a perfectly balanced blend of qualities. The ability to stand out, be authoritative without overpowering, show courage and endurance. You will lead the way and set standards. Very important. Be appealing and refreshing to people. This stereotypical portrait applies whether referring to politics, religion, or maybe even this outstanding IPA. I like it, man. I think Galaxy of Beeroes scale, this is a good sipping beer. I'd probably go, for the style, I'd probably go 6 stars. I'm gonna go 6 stars.
I like it. 6 stars is probably a good way to describe it.
I'll put an omega on it. 1 omega. Not 3 yet.
Not yet.
But I don't drink a lot of American IPAs, I don't think. And Darket would probably correct me because we probably have had a ton of American IPAs. But
yeah,
you're normally an IPA guy yourself, right?
I am. It's basically all I drink now: IPAs and lagers. I mean, I like pretty much all beer, but if I'm going to the store, I'm probably going to come home with an IPA, or sometimes a lager. Like, I don't know if you have Brooklyn Brewing up by you. They do some good lagers that I like.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I've had them. No.
Yeah, they're another New York City, obviously with the name Brooklyn. Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we've got beer, and we should get into some boosts, some boasts. What do you think?
I like it.
All right. So I can start if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So in the last 2 weeks, we record on every other week schedule now. I started a Gear 12 project. So what I did is, this is on my main account, and this is the only account I play at this point. But I'm just crossed the 3.8 million threshold. So I'm working on getting a bunch of Gear 12 characters, a bunch of characters that I've neglected for a really long time. It's a long list. I mentioned it on our last podcast, but and I told you guys I would give you a progress report. So essentially, I had like 13 different characters that I need to focus on. I've needed to focus on to get them geared up. And so far, I Gear 12 R2, Chewie, HK-47, and those are the only 3 so far that are actually Gear 12. Bastila is Gear 11, and Yoda is 1 piece away from being Gear 12, Grandmaster Yoda. And then I hit a massive Carbanti roadblock. I need 400 Carbanti between Bastila, Watt, the Sith Trio, and Jolie. So, I don't know. Fairly productive, I think, for 2 weeks.
I think that's good. I also think it's a good project.
Yeah, I was trying to round out my roster. Trying to. It's so easy to get caught up. I think it's so easy to get caught up in trying to go for the new hotness. I'd love to go for a Galactic Legend or Luke is just way out of my reach. From a get one perspective, but because I don't have Hermit Yoda or Wampa high at all. I don't even have Hermit Yoda unlocked. So
I can see the problem.
Yeah, it's quite literally 6 months calculated for me to get those characters 7-starred. So, but yeah, it's easy to get kind of distracted, and I considered jumping into the Galactic Legend grind, but I decided that I really need to get these characters up to at least Gear 12 and maybe higher eventually. But I just think they're good foundational characters that are gonna really make a difference, especially when I jump into Division 2. I'm gonna see some tougher opponents. I think with wider variety of rosters or characters and more tools in their toolbox, which I need. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. I remember back when I was quite the young little account.
Just a little Padme.
But
Padawan.
I hated seeing Gear 11 on defense in Grand Arena.
Yeah.
And so I basically did the same thing. I took I forget how many teams I was using. Was it in Division? I forget how many teams it was, but I just took those teams and I was like, you know what? You're all going G12.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started to get sick of seeing Gear 12
Right.
on my defense, and that became more resource expensive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, gosh, you get so many great benefits from relicking them too, and I mean, there's definitely a jump up to Gear 12, but I mean, obviously not like relics, but
Yeah.
I bet stuff I've been putting off, and like honestly, there'd be no other way for me to do this, or no other time, or that it would get done. You know.
Yeah.
I could push Gear 12ing the Sith trio off for many months, unless I just sit down and do it. So
Right. And getting them to Gear 12 is honestly just important, especially as you're close to Division 2, and a Gear 12 Sith trio is going to be useful.
yeah, I think so. And the stuff that I'm gonna see, Geos especially, having a solid Geo counter, lower relic, or even not relic at all on Geos. I right now it's like I'm pulling Darth Revan away to counter them, or like Night Sisters or something, and because I don't have Malik yet, so that's kind of my main goal at this point, is to get Malik. But yeah, it would give me so much more flexibility with different teams to allocate my resources, I think, in a more efficient way, and not overkilling it with Darth Revan. But honestly, in 3v3, my Darth Revan was almost was kind of struggling against some Geos this last round. So I don't know. It's Geos, man.
Yeah, they're the team. If you don't have an answer for them, it's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, other things I did, I finally I finally 7-starred mission. So,
Nice.
I was really annoyed of that grind going into it, but I got through it. I did like 3 refreshes daily, pretty much, for Cantina. Just tried to knock it out, and then I was really dreading that and T3 because I didn't have T3. I didn't have the T3 unlocked even when I started this. So, and T3 is actually 73 out of 85, so he's humming right along. And Zalbar is now the roadblock at 16 out of 65. But I should have a 7-star Jedi Knight Revan fairly soon. So that'll be fun.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And that again, that's just another team a foundational team that you really need. I mean, like it bit me in GAC, which we'll talk about, not having a Jedi Knight Revan, a pretty solid Jedi Knight Revan squad. So, I mean, that team is just, you can do a lot with that team. I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yeah.
And then the final thing I did is I put a third Zeta on Skywalker, General Skywalker. Gave him the General of the 501st, which this Zeta, all of his Zetas, I find it kind of overwhelming when you have such a strong character like that, trying to understand their kit, all the intricacies and what these Zetas do and things like that. So I've been just dropping them slowly, and it's kind of been good because I didn't have them saved up because I'm not a planner, and just kind of been learning them and seeing their impact immediately.
Yeah.
Like the one that gives him 100% counter chance and like crazy crit chance, I think it is like 50% crit chance. Immediate impact. As soon as I put that down, it was like just completely changed the character. And this one's huge too, because this gives whenever an enemy gains a buff, all 501st allies gain 2% offense stacking until the end of the encounter.
That's how you beat Padme.
Right. Exactly. Oh, nice
Yeah.
buffs. That's cool. I'll turn that into offense. And
Exactly. Yep.
so that was really cool to just kind of try to start understanding the kit at this point. Like
Sure.
But yeah, so that's basically it. How about you? Did you have any boosts or boasts you want to talk about?
Well, my roster's in a little bit of a different spot than yours.
Right.
So this week I got Chupio to Gear 11 and put both Zetas on him. Or not, he only has one Zeta, sorry. I put one Zeta on him. I just unlocked Mon Mothma, and I already have both Zetas on her.
Nice.
And then I'm getting Mando to... he should be Gear 11 after reset today. Then I needed something to do with relics, so I have, 83 Gear 13 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little ridiculous. And it just sort of happened. But so I know every character after T3 is outside of my matchmaking GP. And so I'm just putting relics on every single character that's outside of my matchmaking GP. So now I'm going to have a bunch of characters at R5 that don't affect my matchmaking. So, I mean, they're going to gain all the benefits and do absolutely nothing to hurt me.
Yeah, you're gonna have a deep bench.
Yeah, well, we spoke about Geos. The fun part about Geos, from like a perspective like my roster, is only one of them has a Zeta, which means they have really low GP.
Yeah.
So I have, my Geo Spy is Relic level 5 with all 6 E mods, and he's still not in my top 80 for GP.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's, yeah. Once you get here, it's fun because you're like, oh, I can make all these characters good and it doesn't affect me in any way. This is amazing. Like Sunfac, I got to R5, so he's super tanky and it's not bothering my account at all.
Yeah, and that's gonna help your Malevolence fleet too. I mean, if your Malevolence fleet needs help, I don't know. I don't know if that
well, I mean, it can't hurt.
Yeah. I have him at gear. He's gear 12 plus 5, but I haven't pulled the trigger to get him to relic him up because early on when I first unlocked Malevolence, I was like, I need as much of a competitive edge as I can get. Trying to get first in arena. So
yeah, on my alt, all my I have Brood at G13 on my alt just so that I could do the WAP mission. Everybody else is at G12 though.
Yeah,
because that's my free-to-play account, and so I think on that account, it's 1 month younger than my main account, and it has less than half of the Zetas on my main.
Wow. Yeah, it just goes to show the amount of time that.
Yeah, it's also I don't like doing 2 fleet arenas, so I get half the Zetas, half the everything.
Yeah.
On that account, basically.
Right. What's the GP on that account?
The alt is 6.2.
Okay.
Yeah. But so when I took over the the alt account, I took it over literally the week before Malik came out because the guy that had it got Darth Revan, and then he the alt is 6.2. Yeah, more. My alt is different than yours. But so it's a former whale in our guild, and he only cares about raids and PvE stuff. He doesn't care about PvP. So he maxed out his score on the Sith raid. He was finishing first every Sith raid, and he's like, I'm just bored of this. So he just kind of gave it to me. And
wow.
but so when I took it over, my alt account was 4.9 and my main account was 4.5, and now my main account has jumped past it.
What's your main at now?
6.6, 6.7.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, adding all these relics have added a lot to my GP.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
6.6.
Wow.
Yeah, Schnapps. Yes, it is My account since launch. That's yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, as long as you don't have an admiral suit on.
Right.
And,
As long as I'm not contacting CG saying, "Hey, look, here's my alt."
yeah, I don't recommend doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, so anything else? That was I guess that's a lot of stuff for.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's basically that I can remember at least.
All
That's-
right.
Yeah.
Let me see how tricky I can get here with the production quality. Hopefully, you guys can hear this. Let's go into the Hardmeat. What do you think?
It's time.
The hard meat.
All right. You either heard that or you just heard 10 seconds of awkward silence. So today on the Hardmeat, we are talking about GAC, of course. And we're going to talk about Mon Motha, of course, newest character in the game, and a couple other miscellaneous updates. And welcome, Curtis Blow. Thank you for hopping in, man. Appreciate it. He's a... oh, nice. The sound... My music played. Great. Look at me. But yeah, so it's... we're going to talk about... GAC, that's really, I mean, your podcast, if you live under a rock and somehow found your way to our show, it's a Grand Arena Championship centered podcast, no longer a Territory Wars focused podcast, because,
Yes.
who gives a shit? Who cares about Territory Wars at this point?
Basically.
But, wait, what's that music? Fort. Yes, it was. We ripped it from, I don't know. I don't even know where Darket got that from. It was legal, though. Whatever it was legal. But yeah, so they're great podcasts. I've talked about your podcast countless times on our podcast. And yeah, really great Grand Arena focused podcast that really helps competitive players. Or if you just want to try and get better at GAC, not even necessarily you want to, make Kyber and get top 10 or something like that. Like, even if you just want to enjoy the game mode better, I think there's really a lot of great lessons on your show. And it's my favorite game mode as well. So naturally, we're going to talk about GAC.
Of course. Yeah. And part of the reason we started the podcast and our YouTube videos were not really to start a podcast as much as, Zareth and I ran Territory Wars in our guild way back in the day. And so at least my YouTube channel started as, all right, let me just record some videos so that when we tell people, JTR counters Nest, hey, here's a video of it actually happening. Or back in the day when I told people that Karth was countering Night Sisters, I actually had a video that could show it. And then it kind of just grew from there.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that. Had you thought about content creating at any point prior to that, or did this whole content creation world that you're now wrapped up into just kind of happen by accident?
For me, it happened by accident. My YouTube was literally, and I still have all the old videos up. I should probably take them down at some point because their production quality is embarrassing. But it was literally just videos of, here's me doing a fight, and here I'll share it with the guild. And then Zareth, that tricky bastard, I was like, we should start a podcast on this, and away we went.
Yeah, it's funny how those things happen. Like a lot of people, a lot of these types of things happen by accident. Or like the way that I used to be a musician, and I guess I still am, but a lot of bands, the way that they just kind of come together, you couldn't have mapped it out. You couldn't, and their success you couldn't have mapped out. It just, these things happen. You meet this person, you play this thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so GAC just wrapped up the first round.
Yes.
I guess not the round. I hate that the verbiage for GAC is. It's like there's rounds within rounds, and there's
Yeah,
weeks.
or the fact that they say it's season 9 when it's actually season 10. 'cause
Exactly.
They just forgot a season.
That's just
Yeah.
further adding to the confusion.
Yeah.
Because we just ran into that when titling our GAC fights that we've been streaming lately on Twitch, because CG, when they did their most recent release, they're like, oh, it's season 9 of GAC. And I know, like, it's been season 9 on every other content creator's site or, it's videos, like, whatever. So 3v3, we just wrapped. How did you end up in this first week? I'll say that.
I hate 3v3. I ended 2-1, which is, so I was on a 10-win streak coming into this, and then I lost my first match of 3v3. Which
Oh man,
sucks. Because my problem with 3v3 is the teams are just, the game's not built for 3v3. So I put a defense down and I was like, oh, this looks like it could be really strong. And then I finished my offense attacks and I was like, God, I still have so much left over. And then my opponent just, destroyed my defense. So round 2, I made changes and thankfully it went a little better.
nice. Hey, well, 3v3, and where you're at, so for reference, I can't remember. You have 1 Galactic Legend right now?
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay.
I have 2 and Luke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's still tough. What the kind of people that you're facing are, they have just as stacked rosters as you do, if not some better, or, it's very, very competitive. And 3v3, too, is just, yeah. It's 3v3. It's hard.
It is.
It's something else. I ended up 2-1 as well. I was bummed because I lost the finals just today. I found the result. I lost by 29 banners, which basically what it boiled down to, I believe, is that I failed 1 more attack than my opponent did. And some banner efficiency as well, right? Wouldn't that technically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were a little more efficient than I was, and they failed 1 less attack. And it's kind of a strange loss because typically when I lose, I have a good indicator of why I lost and like, okay, I'm going to learn from my mistake this time, and next time I'm going to do this. And really, like, I was looking forward to this fight. My opponent had made Kyber before, and they were pretty strong roster. I was excited to battle them. The prior 2 people that I fought didn't have as competitive rosters, so I was actually looking forward to facing them. And I think they were just better than me. They just beat me. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses. Like, I don't think I could have done anything differently with my offensive strategy. Like, I had the right counter teams in place, but they just call it RNG, call it just, not being strong enough, or I don't know. I failed twice, and that was the game. That was the match.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's just frankly what it is. I've had rounds where I've played and I've finished. I've been like, you know what? That's going to be a win. Like, there's no doubt that's going to be a win. And then all of a sudden I'm messaging Zareth like, God damn it. How did I lose this?
Yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's good, though. I don't want to just coast through. I do want difficult opponents. And this was actually the first person that I faced that had General Skywalker ever in Division 3. Mm-hmm. They saved him for offense and put the clones on defense, which were problematic for me. And that's another thing, too, that I think I just don't have a great answer for Grievous, who was on defense. They had a fully relicked Grievous team. And then they had a fully relicked clones team, which I two-shotted both of those teams, but I don't think I have a single thing on my roster outside of maybe Night Sisters who could one-shot the Grievous team. But I see more Fortmort.
Has Gareth agreed to the open relationship?
That's hilarious.
He has. Don't worry. He has.
I heard him on the, it was on the stream I was doing yesterday. He's like, Solo didn't tell me that he's cheating on me yet or something like that.
To be fair, I think I did tell him by that point.
Oh, okay. All right. You
Yeah,
must have forgot or
yeah.
something. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's okay. It's a loss. I wanted to go perfect. I want to go perfect every season, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've had a perfect season. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Or you look at like my fight yesterday, I won, but so this is a galactic legend problem. I know, first world problems up here. But so the whole goal, Zareth has cubs. It's all good.
You got the raw end of the deal here, Solo.
I know. But so when you have a galactic legend Kylo against the galactic legend Rey, the whole point of it is you get your ultimate, and actually it works the other way around too. You want to have them use their ultimate first, then you enter yours, then they come out of it, do no damage to you, and you come out of it and you one-shot them. So today, was it today? Yeah. God, I already forget. Last night. So he enters his ultimate. I then enter my ultimate, and somehow I came out of it first. And so then I got destroyed, and I was stuck trying to clean up a Galactic Legend Rey, which I did eventually after wasting 2 more teams. But, sometimes, like, I did everything, literally did everything right coming into this, and there was nothing I could do. Thankfully, I mean, Mort said it up higher where it takes more strategy. My defenses were absurd. I like to stack heavy defenses and then clear with what's left. So I ended up losing 4 times because of that stupid Rey, except for my opponent lost 6 times. So I was luckily got the win. If I went up against a better opponent, I probably would have lost though.
Yeah. It's tricky, and I struggle with that too. It's like, if I would have gone with a heavier defense this round, would I have still been able to get a full clear? I don't think so, because really, when I finished I did get a full clear in the final match by only losing 29 banners, but I had jack shit left after that. So if I did go heavier on defense, I don't know. I think, could I have made it an uglier match and maybe prevented my opponent from getting a full clear? I don't know. So whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. But I do agree with you, Fort, that it does take strategy, and 3v3 definitely takes strategy, and I struggled really bad the first time it came around. I mean, I did absolutely terrible and just didn't do any homework, didn't look into any teams or really do any in-house theory crafting or anything like that. But I went 11-1 the most recent 3v3 before this one, and hoping to do similar stuff this time around, and actually I'm enjoying it. I mean, it is what it is. We're stuck with it for a month and just have to make the best of it. So
yeah, the thing about 3v3 that a lot of people don't realize is 5v5 you have these team synergies. Like, you have this first order team that's built for a 5-person team, or you haven't, I know people are going to laugh, but an Ewok team that's built for a 5-person team. And Ewoks, if you get behind the ball, they'll steamroll you. And 3v3, if you get behind the ball against Ewoks, you laugh at them because they're not hitting you hard enough and you can roll over them. 3v3, it's not about teams. It's more about strong characters. One strong character in any team can really mess people up. And I coach a lot of people, and so I deal with a lot of different rosters, and every time I'll tell them to place a team with no leader, and they're like, I can't place a team with no leader. What are you talking about? And in 5v5, placing a team with no leader is probably an awful idea. But in 3v3, if you have, God, I forget what the team was. I think it was it was Zalbar, Vandor Chewie, and then Nest. And so you have 2 scoundrels, you have the tank that's going to protect it, and then you have Vandor that can potentially revive Nest or Zalbar. It's an amazing 3v3 team. But there's no leader. There's scoundrels, so there's synergy with Vandor and the 2, but the entire team doesn't have synergy. But Nest is a strong character. Zalbar is you put gear on Zalbar before anybody else when you finish him, because he's a fantastic tank.
I actually followed your exact mod setup. I put crit
Did you?
avoidance on them, and I forget
Oh,
what
yeah.
else. I clone your mods a lot. If full disclosure here, I
Yeah.
just I'm like, you're smarter than me. You know why the things are on there. I'm just gonna do that. It works
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. And more, I agree with you with the vets. I actually put, see, I even go even more synergy. I put a Gear 11 Kira. Still have one Gear 11 left on my defenses. And it's Kira because she is awful to gear. But like Mort saying in chat, Kira dies fast, and then the two vets both get bonus turns. Because it's
Wow.
Vethan and Chewie, and they just ability block and stun immediately. And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh god, what just
That's a
happened
good
to me?
point. Oh man.
Actually, today one of the teams that my opponent lost to was Kira, Vethan, and Vet Chewie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ford has some good ideas, man. I used a
Yeah, Mort is a good player. I was watching his stream earlier today. He is a smart player.
hell
So
yeah.
don't let that go to your head, Mort. I know you're sitting right there.
I used he had a it was a Chirpa lead with Wicket and C3PO. I used that on
Yep.
defense. It got a hold, man. It got a hold. More that's one more hold than my Ewoks were getting previously, so I'll take it, man. That's awesome.
I will still say the best team in 3v3 is my new Watt and 3PO team.
Yeah. That's still getting it done, eh?
Yeah. It won me. It won me the round today. That was
Nice.
my 5th hold. Yeah, that was. I'm very happy with that Newt Watt and 3PO team, and nobody understands it, which is why I love it.
Right. Yeah, that's like having a brand new character, you know.
What's my thick hold? We'll save that one for your stream, Mort.
No, for you definitely know your stuff, man. I think that's a great point. I've been thinking about that recently. Like, I think about people who ask for advice in GAC. We see it a lot, you know, with different. I mean, you see it a lot. You see it a ton, and like you see people just pop into live streams, even like not even aside from Discord, which is just a treasure trove. I mean, you pick it. There's people asking questions about what they should do against X and Y Z team, what they should use, who they should work on. I mean, questions galore. Yeah. And then you have people who hop into streams and ask questions too, which is great. I mean, it's great to have conversation, but really like. I think what it boils down to, I think, sort of a truism amongst anybody who wants to get good at GAC or be competitive in the game mode is to be a student of it. Like everyone I know that's good at GAC, they watch other streamers. They listen to podcasts. They watch all different types of videos and listen to all different types of minds in the community. And they don't really necessarily sit there and study the stuff, like it's not they're going on .gg and like really frantically trying to figure out these different abilities and things like that. I think it's like being a student of it is really important. And like Fort just mentioned that. Like really that's what it's about. Like you can't just expect to get good at GAC from not putting in any work or not, in having any intake of new content, or just magically you're going to wake up one day and, oh, man, I know more about GAC, and this came to me in a dream, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I got my start. I started this game and it was probably March of 16, so a couple months after it came out. And then I took a break. I took a break when I was at level 59. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. In this game, at least. I took a break at 59 because this was before ships were released or anything. So I came back in December. So it was probably a 5 or 6 month break. Came back in December. The first day I played when I came back, I hit 60 and I unlocked ships. And that's when you unlock your ship arena. So I got lucky because I would have been on a really old ship shard. And I would have been screwed. But instead, I joined a brand new ship shard. But when I came back, I had no clue what I was doing. I mean, honestly, I thought Princess Leia and she was good back then. But I thought she was gonna like solo entire legendary events. I had no clue. But I watched Reality Skewed Gamers. There's the Jedi Academy every Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing that now for 4.5, almost 5 years. And I watched the Jedi Academy probably every Saturday morning, or it's on YouTube, so I caught up with it when I could every week for probably months. And then that's how I kind of learned how to get into the game. And then once you're in the game, you listen to other people, but you can do your own homework and kind of figure it all out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it depends on your learning style too. Like for me, I am all about repetition and actually doing it. Like the characters that I actually have and I use routinely, I know them inside and out. It's way more difficult for me to hop in and try to understand a character that I've never played before. And like a lot of these marquee events, I don't really take a whole lot. I don't hold a lot of stock into them, and I don't really get super stoked about it. Like, I'll maybe in a year from now when I maybe have the character and I can play it, get my hands on it, like, and then understand it, I'll use it. But
yeah, well, I mean, the perfect example is go back and watch Zareth and I's streams on the Galactic Legends when they were the kits were first announced.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see how close we were, even knowing what the kit said.
yeah,
I'm not a theory crafter in the terms of, okay, like here's Mon Mothma, I'm going to pick the exact 4 that she's going to be used and it's going to be OP. I'm more of the type where like I have a problem to solve. Like here's this Darth Revan team. I need to beat it with X team. And I will just sit there and I will burn like 1,000 crystals just changing and like, all right, I think this team might work. What if I switch it to this team? And then something will happen. I'll be like, okay, I need this person to go before Bastila. And then, I'll sit there and, I mean, it's literally working it for like an hour until, oh, look, a solution. That worked.
yeah. Gosh, I didn't realize that. So like remodding and things like that, like just plugging stuff in.
Yeah, because a lot of the times it's X team works, but you have to have so and so go before the other person, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like when I figured out that Jedi Knight Luke and Hoda beat the Sith trio in 3v3. I sat down and looked. Like, well, this isn't going to work unless Hoda goes first.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 weeks. I'm impatient more. I will bang my head on something until it happens.
Yeah, you gotta love the theory craft in this game. Like, this is just a mobile game, quote unquote, but it is amazing. Like the different minds and all the different people out there working on stuff, tinkering with things. It's really cool to see.
It is, and I am legitimately jealous of the people that come up with a lot of these teams. Like you sit there and it's like, oh, somebody from Shadowlands figured out that if you do this with this team, it's going to beat this super OP team. And I'm like, man, I would have never thought of that. Like I couldn't even pretended to have thought of that.
Well, you know what? A great example of that, like getting to see good old Maurice of Operation Metaverse on your live stream was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I finally finished your stream. It was 3 hours. Finished it today.
Our Friday night streams, they go on for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great seeing his process, and hats off to him for coming out of his comfort zone. And I used to be the same way as well. Like he likes to kind of chip away at his GAC battles throughout the day, which is typically what I used to do as well. Or I would just look at their defenses and just think about the defenses for an hour or two. I'd be out like playing with my son or something, but. And in the back of my mind, I'd be like, maybe I should have used Geos here, but then just chip away, do a few battles here, do a few battles there, and then maybe you wait until the last hour or something, and if you really want to, get down to the nitty gritty. But it was really cool getting to see him fight, and there was a couple of teams that he used that I have never seen anyone use before. I believe it was an IG-88 lead.
Oh, yeah.
With Mission and Zalbar, right?
Yeah.
Was that it? I never saw anybody use that before. That was cool to see. Mission was just blowing people up with grenades. That was crazy.
Mission. So on my podcast, our podcast. I think Zareth is listening to this. I slam people all the time for putting Karth on defense because on defense, it might be the worst actual team. I mean, people put like crap down, but Mission is amazing. Mission and Zalbar together are truly underrated. And if I had relics on all of them, which I don't, I only have Zalbar, but I want relics on Mission quite badly, she would go back to being my Night Sister killer. Those two together are under a Karth lead. You don't even need Karth. You just need his leadership. He's like Kira. I don't care if you die. Just give me your leadership.
Give me
And
the good stuff.
they will drop like 15 dots on whatever Night Sister, and it gets around the whole zombie revive. She doesn't revive if they are killed by dots.
Right.
And so they drop 15 dots on somebody, fully recover protection, and then you sail off into the sunset. Unfortunately, you need to be equally geared, and there's just no reason to gear up that Karth team just for Night Sisters.
Well, you were mentioning that you're starting to put some relics on some characters.
Oh, trust me. Mission is 12 plus 5. I need to get up. I mean, I live in constant paranoia in this game because I don't want to spend money. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to miss Legendary. It's this awful catch-22. So I live in constant paranoia. So I get characters to Gear 11 as soon as they come out. Like, long ago, after... It was right around Jedi Knight Revan. I kind of realized what their new business model was going to be. And so this let me get Darth Revan and Malik completely for free because I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I just said, I don't care about all you old characters. I'll get to you when I get to you. When a new character comes out, they immediately go Gear 11. And when I say immediately, I mean within like a month or two, because I'm not going to get them to 7-star until, they're free to play farmable. But I get them to Gear 11 before they become free to play farmable. That way, when the Galactic Legend is announced and everybody's panicking, like, I have a Gear 8 Mandalorian right now, what am I going to do? I will have a Gear 11 Mandalorian that just needs, one piece to go Gear 12.
Right. That's smart.
So Mission is on the list. She is on my Gear 13 list, but unfortunately, they've been releasing tunes quite quickly now with the Mandalorians and then the Mon Mothma. Now I have to get, and I think she needs like 400 Kyrotech or something absurd.
Of course she does. Of course.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
And Zareth and I are going to talk about this on the podcast later tonight, but I'm convinced that we're going to have a Rebel Fighter Legendary. It makes too much sense that we're not going to. Like, I don't think we're going to have a Mandalorian Legendary. I think it's going to be a Rebel Fighter Legendary.
You mean just like a generic Rebel Fighter or like a specific...
No, I think it'll be somebody specific. I haven't figured out who it's going to be. But they created a new faction. They come out with the new character. Well, they created a new faction out of a bunch of characters that nobody has geared. They created a new character. I am 90% sure that Mon Mothma is going to be the key to a Rebel Fighter Legendary in, 3 months or so.
You know what? Just to hop in to put my speculation cap on here.
Yeah.
There aren't a ton of... I could see a legendary Han. Maybe like Ewok Han. Or Endor Han,
Yeah.
Like he's got the camo...
I was thinking... I was actually thinking it's going to be a Leia. One of the possibilities is a Leia.
Yeah?
Another Leia. Because they talked a lot... God, this... when she passed away, unfortunately, about... the profile picture and how they want to give her a good tribute. And quite frankly, the profile picture and the title of princess isn't it's not a bad tribute. Like I very much appreciated it, but at the same time, it kind of felt like they were saying something more.
Mm-hmm.
I could be completely wrong with that, but I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a team of Rebel fighters to at least Gear 12
Yeah.
if you want to try and get a legendary. And I mean, I know your account's in a different spot, and a lot of your listeners are kind of the accounts like yours. But that's going to be my kind of my goal over the next however many weeks, because I have POW Gear 12 already from the Sith raid.
Yeah. Chex Mix, right?
Yep. I have Lando at Gear 13, obviously, for Jedi Knight Luke. And then I have Chase at Gear 12 because they were my arena team for quite some time when CLS came out. So I think when I get pieces of gear, they're just going to kind of slowly get a piece or two here and there. That way I will have a team of 5 whenever this legendary gets announced.
Yeah, that's a good segue. We should get into Mon Mothma's kit.
We probably should.
So we're not gonna go line by line here. We're just gonna kind of at a glance. You've probably heard plenty of people talk about it at this point, but so yeah, Mon Mothma is in the game. Light side, support, and rebel are her tags. The highlights that they put, CG did, is introduces a new unit affiliation, Rebel Fighter, as we mentioned. Summons a Rebel Trooper that can be promoted multiple times. And provides recovery and revives for Rebel Fighter allies. And also she can't be hit. So she can't even be targeted. She can be hit, she can't be targeted. Which is a very unique feature for... I don't think there's been any character that has that, right?
I forget how it's worded. I think the irony in this is she is not a rebel fighter. So I have to actually go further to search for her. Because she can't be the subject of a taunt, right?
I don't know exactly, to be honest.
Oh, can't be targeted. Yeah, I think that's fairly... The way it's worded is fairly unique. Like, it can't be targeted, or is what's unique. Can't get the taunt effects. Kylo has that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But can't be targeted is interesting.
Yeah, so it sounds like AoEs will have to be... You have to have an AoE heavy team to get her out of there if you're planning on getting her out of the fight early,
right.
Which sounds like you would... likely want to.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, the synergies they suggest are Wedge, good old Wedge, which my co-host has a relic Wedge, so he must be chomping at the bit on this. Cara Dune, Chirrut, and Pow, like you said.
Yeah.
And Cara Dune really hasn't really had a place so far in this game. And then I know you guys have mentioned it before that she's just kind of been... She's a character in the game. Like, doesn't really have a solid home. It's starting to make more sense now because she has a revive mechanic, and it'd be interesting to see how it's gonna work with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, one thing I'll say, you get to do this event multiple times. For anyone that's interested in a potential Mon Mothma team, add 3PO to the team when you do the unlock event. And if you've already completed it, do it in the bonus tier. Because 3PO, all of them are going to assist. And 3PO on basics is applying expose. So every time, a team of 4 assists or a team of 3, whoever it is, assists, they're going to be applying expose on their basic, which is 1/5 of their health, and then somebody else assisting behind is going to pop that expose and apply a new one, then pop the expose and apply a new one. So 3PO is not a rebel fighter. It would surprise me if you don't see him in that team for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Plus he gives off the normal rebel boosts of giving everything to everybody, which also helps.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he fits great in the Rebel team that there is now.
In any team, basically.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
If you're a light side team, here's 3PO.
Yeah. That's a great point. But
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, her kit is there's health and protection regeneration. There's revives. There's this new summoning ability of a rebel trooper who can be promoted to 3 different ranks, and then there's varying bonuses to that. Really screams to be to help with light side Geo. I think that's probably the most obvious application.
Yeah. Yeah. She is the second character in a row, along with Chupio, to have a version of her kit that is more geared towards the long battles, so the territory battles. And I'm really curious if also the galactic challenges, if we're seeing Chupio and Mon Mothma, these parts of their kit for the galactic challenges as well.
Yeah, right. Good point. Yeah, because that's going to be a big new PvE event. We don't quite know what that's going to be about or how difficult that's going to be.
Yeah.
Probably difficult.
Probably.
Had to imagine. But then also like PvP wise, what do you see? What is your theory crafting engine kind of
I think she's going to be an offense team. I'm still curious to see what the full team is. I think at this point, you should have 3PO, you should have Chupio in there. Because even though he's not a rebel fighter, so Mon Mothma is going to gain 8% of the, all the other rebel fighter stats. And then Chupio is gaining 40% of the leader stats.
Yeah.
So if she's just building up all these stats, he's going to build up a ton of stats, and he's going to assist on every turn. So I think it's going to be Chupio, 3PO, Mon Mothma. And then there's kind of 3 characters that are floating around. And I hate the fact that I'm going to have to say these. Biston, Hoth Rebel Scout, and Pow. Those are the 3 that are standing out of, wow, this could do a lot. Cara Dune, obviously, as well. I just don't know. So I don't know what the final 5 is going to be. But I think either way, somebody else described them as the light side version of Geos. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Okay. Yeah, it could be annoying on defense, too, with all those revives.
It could. Yeah,
I don't know if it'd be a top-tier defense team necessarily, but, a nice second rebel team.
I guess it depends on speeds. Because it doesn't have an auto-taunting tank unless you add Baze. I don't think Baze is the right option on that team. I love Baze, and I love Churret, but I don't think that he fits on the team.
Yeah.
And without an auto-taunter, anybody that has a geared-up trooper team, because Pow, Biston, Scout, they're all kind of squishy at the same time. So I think it's going to be more of an offense team where the AI doesn't know how to play it.
Yeah, that's a good point. And a lot of the Rebel tanks suck. Let's be totally honest here. Where they're cool. It seems like their cooldowns. Then again, I don't have many of them maxed or anything, but it just seems like, if you dispel taunt on one of them, they're kind of screwed for multiple turns, and they don't have, like you said, then there's no pre-taunt. It's just... You're just kind of meh. But we don't know. Who knows what else is going to be. I don't feel like they're done yet.
No, I agree. I agree completely with that. I remember back in December, November, they did a Q&A, and they promised an ocean of characters.
Yeah.
That was their words, an ocean of characters.
Yep.
And we have not gotten an ocean yet.
Right.
But we've started to see kind of the trickle come in, and it wouldn't surprise me if they hit us hard this fall.
Yeah, one theory that I've heard is maybe the Unity update was a bigger undertaking than they thought.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
And with COVID-19, I wonder how much that impacted their ability to roll out what they had planned. How important that was for them to be on site. I don't know. It might not have been a factor at all, but I mean, imagine it's affecting everybody in the world, so I wouldn't. I don't know why they would be immune.
Yeah.
You know, come on, CG,
Yeah.
get your shit together. You know, it's
Right.
it's a
They might be
pandemic.
they might be able to work from home, but that doesn't mean that they can work efficiently.
Yeah.
Like the same way that you could in an office, where if you're having a problem with this line of code, you just go to your neighbor and be like, "Hey,
Right.
come check this out," type of thing.
Exactly. So I wonder about that because these releases are quick. I mean, they've been pretty steady too. I mean, 3PO or Chupio and Mon Mothma is nice, and they're making tweaks too. Like the Vader touch up was like a quick thing, like touch up,
Right.
quote unquote.
Yeah, we're kind of at the old schedule. So were you playing when Darth Nihilus was released?
No, that's when I stopped. I started right at
Okay.
launch, and then I stopped
Gotcha.
for like years, and then just
Okay.
picked up after that.
Yeah, so right when Darth Nihilus released, we kind of hit this schedule of character release, week off, character release, week off, character release, week off. And it was fairly consistent for, God, basically up until Jedi Knight Revan got released. And we're kind of hitting that again, where it's nothing release, nothing release, nothing release, nothing. Because if you look back from the middle of June to now, we've had 4 character either releases or reworks, because Vader was obviously a rework. But so yeah, we're kind of hitting the every other cycle again, which is, I find it exciting. So I like new toys to play with basically in the game.
Yeah, and I do consider new characters content, honestly. Like I've heard that from the Reddit folks that new characters are not content. But where I'm at in the game, I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I don't need oceans of content per se. Like I don't know.
I already spend like 2 to 3 hours a day on this game. I don't need more content without them finding a way to save me time on the old content.
Right. I'm with you there. Well, you know what? That segues nicely. Is there anything else on Mon Mothma that you wanted to touch on?
No, that's probably good.
Okay.
Yeah.
They speaking of more content, they added a tier 3 to the assault battles. Just snuck that in there.
They did.
So all those people bitching about content, hey guys, here's some content for you. You want to spend 45 minutes on a tier 3 of assault battle or more?
For little to no reward.
Yeah, knock yourself out. I will be skipping those, considering where I'm at in the game. I can barely complete tier 1 on. I think I can complete tier 1 on every one of these assault battles, other than the one for Jedi, because I don't have Revan, and it's just a pain in the ass.
More just use the 3PO on the bonus tier.
Oh, nice.
Told you it would be fun.
Very nice. I'll have to do that, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So he had Gear 12 C3PO. The rest, he took Rook at 6.6, Biston 10K, Pow 6K.
50.
Didn't lose a tune. Wow. And they're all level 50. Wow.
Yeah, just wait till you start using that offense. And since Mon Mothma can't be targeted, this is actually great for you guys with the smaller accounts. Like, I can't pull this off with the bigger account, but some maybe not when you hit Division 2, but there are people still fighting teams of Gear 8 and Gear 9 characters where they can use a 3-star Mon Mothma that just give her the Zetas so that she can't be targeted.
Right, that's a good point. That's a great point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, because if you're still facing Gear 11 and below characters, gear up Mon Mothma to like Gear 9. Stick 3PO in the team and just say, go have fun, boys.
Yeah, and there's really against that type of that caliber of a defense, there's no AOE that's going to probably take her out. She's not in danger of getting AOE'd out of your team anytime soon.
Yeah, you don't have an R4 snowtrooper.
No, right, exactly.
Team. Yeah, so I think if I was on a younger account, and I should need to talk to Zareth about his account.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good point.
I think I would just gear up Mon Mothma to like Gear 9 or Gear 8. At gear 7, she needs 2 stun guns. She still doesn't need a Kyrotech. I can tell you that. Oh no, that's at gear 8. So to get her to gear 9, the only piece of gear that you really have to worry about is 2 stun guns, which obviously stun guns are awful.
Yeah.
But I would get her to gear 9 and next 5v5 GAC, stick her with 3PO and whoever and just say, all right, good luck beating that.
Yeah, and I mean that's especially like in the more mid game, division probably 3 and below. I mean that's probably a viable option, and those new characters are always going to be, always kind of give people trouble if they don't quite understand what to do. Like, whatever, I'll just try and take out this character and fail miserably, get exposed to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they made that change. They added the assault battle tier 3, and then the Rebel Y-Wing is now farmable as well on fleet battles 4C hard.
Which is fantastic.
Yes. Along with Grief,
with
right?
Grief,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's a solid node there. That's not
That
bad.
that's a gift to everyone, basically.
And the I don't know what the hell it's called. I can't keep up with these ridiculous gear names, but the fucking lunchbox thing, whatever that is, that's a gear. That's a popular salvage piece that you can turn into some. I believe you can turn into some quality salvaging materials or scavenger materials for the.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a hell of a node now. So you got Grief, Rebel Y-Wing, and some decent gear to either use or scrap, whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. And I guess that's about it for news. Vader is now immune to stun while he has Merciless Massacre going,
Which is good.
That's nice. Yeah, I guess that's it for news. That was quite a bit, though. That was
it was a busy news week and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they keep it up. That'd be dope. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah, right.
Let's keep getting more characters. I really want to see some Empire. I do want to see it swing to the Empire side.
I think we see Empire. That's the thing. When we're talking about the speculation of who we're going to get, you usually farm up a faction to get the opposite faction. So I wonder if you farm up the Rebel fighters and it's going to be somebody from the Empire.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's typically yep. Yeah, nice try, asshole. You don't need a relict Vader to unlock the new character. You need
right. You need a relict POW.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I guess that's about it, man. I'm not going to go through the calendar events because I don't give a shit, truthfully. Darth Darket normally reads these, and I go, yep.
Right.
And there's really, I mean, and truthfully, there's nothing coming up anytime soon of note. Like Clash on Camino's isn't around the corner or anything like that. I don't think so.
Right.
But Star Wars in general. Is there anything Star Wars in general related that you have taken in the last 2 weeks or so?
That's a good question. Is there anything in general?
Watched any movies?
No, I mean last night on my stream we were fighting about were the prequels good?
Oh,
and we actually
let's talk about it.
So I personally hate the Phantom Menace. I think it's awful.
Really? Okay.
I have watched every Star Wars movie.
You know what? Can you hold that thought?
Yeah.
Can we get another beer?
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
we can.
And then let's resume this conversation.
Right. So I will be right back, and it will be with beer.
Okay. We'll be right back, everybody. What's everybody out there in chat drinking? That's what I want to know. Fort, you got your apple juice popping? I bet you the schnapps is working on something good out there. Apple juice and coffee a bit earlier. Ah, okay. Nice.
All right. Your fridge is clearly much closer than mine.
Oh yeah. I thought about getting a mini fridge, but then I had the epiphany that I could just get like a little. I have little coolers all over the place, like or even just a little lunchbox. Just throw an ice pack in there. I don't need to get that bougie. I don't need a stream refrigerator.
Yeah. I work out. It's a lie, I don't. That's
Well, you can't, even if you want to. No.
yeah, right. All right, so
yes, you were saying
prequels.
Yes,
are they good? This is the question.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoy 3. 2, I've watched every Star Wars movie probably 5+ times. So I enjoy parts of 2. There's parts I don't like. 1, Phantom Menace. I can watch them all fight, and that's literally it.
Yeah. It's probably one of the best fights, I would argue, in Star Wars. I mean, there's some great battles. I mean, great Jedi versus Sith battles. And I don't love Phantom Menace. I mean, there's certainly any part with Jar Jar, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're here.
Yusa and Big Doo-Doo. Yeah, okay, that's hilarious line, George. Really great stuff. Rich.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's great fights. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. Honestly, I think he's such a cool character.
Fair. Yeah.
But yeah, there is some fuckery. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The midi-chlorine thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
The pod race. You know what? The pod race isn't that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah. It's actually kind of cool. I played the pod racing N64 game.
Oh yeah, I didn't have N64, so I went to friends' houses to play it. I enjoyed the game. Yeah.
I remember vividly playing that during halftime of one of the Super Bowls. I was like, I'm going to my room. Fuck this. I don't remember. It was
awesome.
I don't know. And just played the shit out of that. Sabalba and company. But that was fun. Attack of the Clones. We watched it recently because Galaxy of Beeroes has been doing a chronological viewing of all Star Wars content, and we watched it recently. And the Clone Wars, the actual Clone Wars, don't start until I'm not kidding. I time-stamped it. 2 hours into the movie. That's when the Clone Wars start.
Yeah.
Like, if they could have maybe gotten to that a little quicker, I mean, there is a lot there. That's a huge battle.
Well, you know the whole saying, you don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
I feel like that's the prequels problem. Like, all these authors of books and stuff, you ask them about this piece of history in their book that's before, the book even starts, and they could tell you down to the detail. And I appreciate that George Lucas was that focused and had that much detail and thought into it. Like, because that's how you build a good world. That's why we have A New Hope be fantastic, because he had this history in mind. But I don't necessarily need to see all that history. And that's kind of my problem with the prequels, is it took so long to actually, it was more of world building than it was a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the biggest criticisms about it. Patton Oswalt has a great joke about it. Are you familiar with
I love Patton Oswalt, yeah.
He's like, I don't care about where the things I love came from. I just love the things that I love. Right. And he says, I'll just paraphrase, but he's like, hey, do you think Angelina Jolie's really hot? Well, here's John Voight's ball sack. It's pretty great. Like, It's a good point, but I mean, there are some redeeming things about the prequels that build on the lore, and I think
Definitely.
even the Clone Wars animated series really helps develop Kenobi's character and his backstory a lot.
Yeah, the animated series was fantastic. The Clone Wars animated series is probably my favorite piece of Star Wars content.
Really? Okay.
Just in general, yeah.
I'm not caught up on it. Just full disclosure, but
I think my only complaint with the Clone Wars TV show is that they're out of chronological order. So
yes,
probably
they jump around, right?
4 or 5 months ago, you go online and they give you the list of how to watch it in chronological order. And so I watched it in chronological order and I was like, man, why didn't they just do this in the first place? It's so much better.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. They jumped around quite a bit.
Yeah, but I love the Clone Wars. And actually, I think that's why I like Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones more. Because when I first saw them, what was it, like the early 2000s, it's like, all right, Star Wars, there were some great scenes in these movies. I like them. I don't love them. But then I watched the Clone Wars series, again. I learned, through that series who all the characters were, what was going on in the universe or the galaxy and all that stuff. And then I went back and watched 2 and 3. I was like, man, these are so much better than I remember.
Right. You get so much more backstory.
Yeah.
I am interested to go back and you don't know what you don't know. So when you watch them,
right.
You're just seeing what's in the feature film, and you can only do so much in a feature film. You can 2.5 hours is not that much when you're talking about the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. When you're talking about world building, 2.5 hours isn't enough.
And to be fair, with the Clone Wars animated series, there are some real dud episodes. I've learned.
Sure.
Like, gosh, there's, but I mean, thinking about that too, like. That's all. It's also catered or aimed at younger viewers. So,
right.
I was watching Beast Wars when I was a kid, or Transformers. Like that's what I would if Clone Wars the animated series was out there, I'd be watching that for sure, 110%.
Oh, absolutely.
But
that's like the Rebels series. The first season is kind of just, but then you look back at it and you're like, well, the first season's directed directly towards these kids. Like, there's really very little connection to the rest of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
But then, season 2 happens, and look, Vader appeared. And then season 3 happens, and season 4 happens. You're like, wow, this is getting really good.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, always good to see you, Mort.
Heck yeah, man. We're gonna be I'm gonna be hopping on your stream here in the future for sure. You're doing good stuff over there, man. I'll drink an apple juice with you one day. I mean, overall, I guess the prequels, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch them, but I mean, if I will be honest though, sometimes I do get a hankering. I'm like, maybe I should put on the Phantom Menace. I don't know. I like the way the Phantom Menace starts. The Phantom Menace starts out great.
Fair. Yeah.
That was like a great reintroduction into Star Wars in a modern era.
Yes.
Them running around fighting droidekas, cutting through thick ass doors with lightsabers. Come on, man. What more do you want?
Right.
Jumping from a ventilation shaft, down to 100 feet using Jedi powers. Come on, man. That's just dope.
Right. Yeah. I really like 3, Revenge of the Sith, for I love the opening, and then a lot of people are going to yell at me, and every person that's ever been trained in fighting ever is going to tell me how I'm wrong, but the Obi-Wan versus Anakin fight at the end of the movie might be one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, dude, that's a solid fight.
It is, and
heavy.
And I've seen every single meme about, I have the high ground, and then it points out like 18 different times in Star Wars where Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground and won. I've seen every meme.
Yeah.
I feel like Ewan McGregor's kind of passion and acting in that was just so strong.
Oh
That was
yeah.
like, you could kind of feel like when he screams, "You are the chosen one." I'm like, oh wow, that he means that.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
You
great.
know?
Yeah, I totally agree. That is a great scene. In all of Star Wars, that's a great great scene,
Yeah.
and it's super sinister too. When Anakin makes the turn, like
Oh yeah.
it's dark as fuck, man. He straight up murdered some kids, and he's
See,
just hanging out. And on Mustafar, he's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, that is the murdering the kid scene. Other than being one of the best memes in Star Wars, but that's the one. My one problem with this whole Anakin turn is, Sidious convinces him to go because the Jedi are evil and all this stuff. It was just so out of character that he would kill the kids that aren't even trained yet. It was kind of like why would they're not even Jedi? That bothered me.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
Homeboy lost his marbles.
that's true. Yeah, he did.
Well, that was good, man. I wasn't expecting to just talk about Star Wars in general with you. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got anything you want to let the 11 people out there watching know?
Yeah. Well, so this is Monday night. We stream. Zareth and I stream the Gambit podcast every Monday night. Well, technically for me, it's Tuesday morning because we start at like 12:30 in the morning. But so that'll be going on in about 2 hours on the Twitch page of just Gambit Podcast. One word. Come join us. It's a good time. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and you guys have the Friday night streams too, which are a lot of fun.
We do.
enjoying
We
those.
are going to have a different guest every Friday night. They're all going to be guests that hopefully names people either know or should know. I know. I don't know if this Friday is confirmed, but so I won't announce a name because I don't know if we've technically confirmed the person. But if we get who we think we're going to get, it's going to be a good addition. And it's we actually have the next 4 weeks lined up.
Nice. That's awesome.
And here's the thing for those of anyone that's following GA Center.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about if you have time.
Yeah. Our stream doesn't start for 2 more hours.
Okay, cool.
But so right now the top of Division 1 Elite, because they split Division 1 up into 2 different GP levels. The top of our division is Fruit Ninja Mike, Zareth, and me. And we're 1, 2, 3. Where Zareth and I are, God, what's our record now? 13-2. And Fruit Ninja Mike is still undefeated, I believe. So he's 15-0 since this started. That final week of 3v3, he's going to be on our stream.
Oh, no way.
It's literally going to be a fight for the top of
Wow.
the top of GA Center will be on that Friday night. So that's going to be a fun Friday night.
That's awesome. Yeah, GA Center, for those who don't know, is a I guess how would you describe it? It's sort of, the idea was that it's put on by the I guess, and produced by the Escape podcast folks.
Yeah.
And it's essentially like Sports Center, but for Grand Arena, and they have, I think, 59 or 60 content creators.
They had 60. One of them was Mobile Gamer, and he quit. So they have 59 at the moment.
Oh, I didn't know he quit. He quit altogether.
Yeah,
Right?
he officially quit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so they have 59, and they pair up. They have different divisions, not divisions within the game, but different divisions that they make, and pin people. Sort of like they have a leaderboard for GAC, and Solo and Zareth are both in the. Is it the top of Division 1?
Yeah, so what they did is they split Division 1 up into 2 divisions. There's 4.5 to 5.85 million. That's, they call that Division 1. And then above 5.85 million is Division 1 Elites. Not for skill levels, just for
numbers wise.
Yeah, exactly. Our accounts are bigger than the others.
Yeah.
Um, and Mort left, but Mort is actually in GA Central.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
He is. Yeah, I try to tune into those. I really like that idea. I think it's
I do
super
too.
cool. It's so cool that they're trying to bring together content creators and give them more exposure, basically on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still working out, I think, some of the what the end format would be, but I think the idea is really good. And
They've already said so. This season lasts 6 Grand Arena seasons, so it's essentially 6 months, and we're in month 2, so we're still very early on in the overall season.
Yeah.
But they've already said that for season 2, they have all these other ideas that they're going to add into it because
Cool.
the first season's kind of like we need to figure this out. We can't get too grand. We need to perfect the process essentially. But yeah, they've already hinted that there's fun things planned for 6 months from now.
Yeah, wow.
But season 2, and I'm excited to see how big they can make it because the Escape podcast guys, they've always been about let's take these smaller creators and try and get the word out about them, and then hopefully when they grow, they get the word out about us, and everybody kind of grows together.
Yeah.
And so I think this was the perfect project for them. I told them, we were on their Friday night stream a couple of weeks ago, and I said flat out, I'm jealous that you guys thought this up because it's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. It's
Yeah.
it's super cool. I mean, I love that they're doing it, and I'm excited to see what it becomes. I would love to be a part of it. Like even I asked them if I could be included in it, and they've locked this season per se.
Right.
But like going forward, hell, even if I'm not a part of it, like I will. I think it would be really cool if they did, like highlights or specific interactions that happened in a particular week.
Yeah, I think that's what their plan is for the second season after they get this down. Because if you watch the leaderboard on the first episode and then the leaderboard on the second episode, like it changed. And then I think 2 weeks ago they also kind of changed it a little bit because people don't stay static for 6 months. Like if you're in Division 3 in 6 months, you might hit Division 1 by the end of it.
Right.
So they had to come up with a way for these accounts that grow and stuff as well. So I think we're kind of the test cases at the moment,
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see where it goes. And they did say that they're going to add people once the season is over. Like you guys, I think you started streaming your Grand Arena fights literally the week that this was starting. So they had already, they kind of put this into plan a month earlier. And so
truthfully, it kind of inspired me to start streaming because, I'm like, I don't know. I didn't really have a desire to necessarily stream, but like just figured let's do it, and it's actually been fun. I look forward to it. People pop in and talk, and and I've learned a lot. A lot of people have been giving me some really good advice on it. So
streaming is more. I find streaming a lot more fun than the videos. Like I think Zareth actually enjoys streaming as well for the same ideas that you actually get to talk to people. It's not like you're talking to your camera and oh look, people left comments. I'll address those comments. In the next video.
Yeah, if I remember.
but like you were talking about good old Maurice, and Zareth is a lot like him and like you are, where God, I would talk to Zareth like he'd be like, okay, I have this fight. Now what should I do? And then we'd talk, and then he'd talk to like Endall or whoever else, and then he'd go do the fight. And then he'd come back, it's like, okay, I did that fight, I got 54 banners. Now I have this fight. And so now he's streaming these fights, and the first week I think it threw him off a little bit. But actually, he was really worried that he was going to lose a lot of banners by doing it this way. And last season, he had one of his best seasons ever.
Yeah.
Like by far. So I think I think he's a lot calmer with it now because it's so much more fun being able to interact with people throughout the stream. And actually, like last night when we were talking about the prequels, like I wanted to just do my GA and get to Zareth basically, and people want to talk. So like, okay, I'll have like. I'm a Star Wars fan. These are the conversations I love to have. Like this would never happen if I was just making a YouTube video.
Right. And that's kind of what I wanted when we were talking about doing a podcast. I wanted to kind of meld all of that together, you know. So it's like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for sure, but then also talking about Star Wars because that's what I think what unifies all of us, and we don't actually talk about it that much, you know. Like Zareth knows a shitload about Star Wars and is a huge Star Wars fan, and the few times that you guys have talked about Star Wars lore or on your podcast are some of my favorite times. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Like he had a great point about General Skywalker as far as being like as far as his power level compared to other characters, but like legitimately General Skywalker being the commander of an army and being in countless wars way outnumbers what anything that Jedi Knight or Luke did, you know, like you know, he had some pretty tense situations in his life, but okay, he had to carry Yoda on his back and do some flips over some rocks, but you know, literally his dad was on the front lines fighting like every day, like I love that kind of stuff. I think it's...
I do too. And have you gotten... See, here's the problem. I don't want to ruin Clone Wars for you. Have you gotten to... Oh, God, what's the name of the place? It's mentioned in Rebels, too. I'm just going to call it the Forced Land, where it's Anakin crashes into an area of the Force, basically, with the brother and sister.
Oh yeah, yep, we did. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, it was like they were these ethereal beings, like I don't know what you'd call them.
I forget. So those are. It's a 3-episode arc. Those are 3 of my favorite episodes, just because it's kind of like this history of the Force, essentially. That's not midichlorians. And so, but you look at those episodes, and then you look at Luke, and you're like, well, they erased all of Luke's canon that we used to have in all the books. So as of right now, officially canon, like Luke did the rebellion, Luke trained Rey, and was badass on Crate, and then he sort of fell to young Kylo. Like that's all we have in Luke canon right now. So according to canon, technically General Skywalker is the strongest in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess behind Rey now, because you know that you are the Jedi thing. Kind of makes her the strongest. But
I love that element of the way I think about Jedi and Sith. I feel like there are ebbs and flows of the Force naturally. Like I think that there are, and I don't think that's bold to say or inventive or anything.
No.
But like, I don't know if many people actually recognize it. Like there's times where the Force is low, you know, where when the Force Awakens starts, you know, it's literally called the Force Awakens, you know.
Right, there's a reason for that.
Exactly. Rey is just this, you know, she's scavenger Rey. She's, you know, riding down sand dunes on a sled and, you know, foraging, scrounging around in, you know, ATSTs and stuff. Or ATATs. I always fuck it up. I can't.
That's,
Who cares? You know, the big four-legged things. But I like that idea that there are times when the Force is really like at its zenith, and that's what I really loved. I loved Rise of the Skywalker, like Rise of Skywalker. Like I love that. It's honestly probably one of my favorite Star Wars films for that reason.
So I love the Rise of Skywalker for a lot of things. There's a couple decisions in there that I absolutely hated.
Really? Okay.
Like the Chewie death fake out, I hated.
Yeah.
Because either you killed off a character in such a crappy way, or you were doing it for the cheap
Yeah.
cry, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely hated that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was so much of that I loved. Like, that feeling you get when they're, all the ships just appear to turn the tide of battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that's not realistic. I've heard all the complaints by people. I don't care. We're watching a movie about space ninjas. Like,
Right. That's a good point.
it was a badass scene of a bunch of ships showing up and turning the tide of battle. Like, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Space ninjas. That's hilarious.
it's like, really, I mean, a lightsaber. Who's going to use that?
Yeah.
You know, bullets are being fired at you at the speed of light, and you're able to deflect them with your lightsaber, and you're complaining that all the ships
Right.
wouldn't show up at once. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
That's
I'm willing to suspend my disbelief this far, but not
Right.
this far.
right. Yeah, I liked a lot of Rise of Skywalker, and I know a lot of people crap on the Galactic Legend events because they call it rock paper scissors, and it's not even rock paper scissors. It's kind of crappy game design, but I love how they tried to bring that duel between Kylo and Rey in,
Mm-hmm.
because even if it doesn't make sense with how the Force has been explained to us in the past, I loved that scene. Like, that kind of them fighting and changing locations between the ship and the ground. Like, I loved that scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, right. Right.
But from a movie, like, am I entertained? It was fantastic.
Yes, I agree. And there's great lightsaber battles. You know, I mean, some of the most epic lightsaber battles in Star Wars. I mean, them doing flips over these gigantic waves. You know, like super cool stuff. And
oh yeah, the fight when they're on the remains of Death Star 2 was. That was an amazing scene as well.
Oh man, I'll be honest. I've mentioned it before, but I got choked up so many times during that movie. Like, especially when Han comes back and has this conversation with Kylo. It's like, oh dude, I don't know if it's just because now, you know, being a father, just I don't know, that father son dynamic of just like, I don't know. I got teary-eyed a lot. I was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is happening to me? I don't know. I'm 33 or ish. I'm crying in a movie theater next to Darth Darket.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the sequel trilogy is honestly Finn. I hate Finn's character, which is a shame because I love him in the game.
Yeah, right.
Like, in this game, I love Finn. I just feel like he could have been so much cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's got this awesome story, and I think the way it starts with him being the stormtrooper that kind of wakes up out of the haze, I thought that was just such a great start to this character. And then they didn't really do anything with him.
Yeah, he took The Last Jedi off. I mean,
right?
You know, it was like, nah, Finn, you're not doing anything cool in this movie.
Right. And if you look at the timeline, he knows, like, Poe for 2 days, maybe.
You gave me your jacket.
Yeah, right. He knows Poe, actually, not even 2 days. He knows Poe in the first movie for, like, 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they're best friends.
Right.
And that just angered me. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if I saw the guy that I thought that was dead that helped me escape, I would be excited. Don't get me wrong. But they're like, oh, man, buddy, you're my best. It's like, oh, this is just cringeworthy at this point.
This makes no sense.
But I mean, I think I probably liked every Rey part of the sequel trilogy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I legitimately liked her as a character. I wish she wasn't a Palpatine.
Right.
But other than that, I liked, I liked her character. I loved BB-8.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, I could, just couldn't get behind.
Well, Poe sucked in The Last Jedi too. You know, like I felt like they set him up in Force Awakens to be this, this marquee, awesome character. No pun intended. Awesome character in the film, and then The Last Jedi, he just sucked. He was just an idiot. He just was like this rogue dumbass who just did a bunch of counterintuitive things. He tried to stage a mutiny, and like it was just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of The Last Jedi, if that's not obvious.
So I like a lot of The Last Jedi. See, this is the perfect example of what you said, that 2.5 hours isn't long enough to tell a full story. Like I loved if The Last Jedi was like a 2-episode arc of a TV show. It would be a fantastic TV show arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's missing something at the end. It's missing something in the beginning. But if they just took that and instead of being a movie, put it into like a Game of Thrones type of show where you get, say, 8 episodes and that's like 3 episodes in the middle of oh my God, how are they going to escape? We're on this ship. I would have loved every second of it. Before a movie, I was like, is this enough for the movie?
Yeah.
You know, and then the whole, again, Finn. I didn't mind him as much in the third movie, but the second movie, I hated everything with Finn in the second movie.
Same. When I watch it, I fast forward through the parts with Finn and Rose, and it's a way more enjoyable experience, honestly. And even sometimes with, I didn't like Luke, the way that Luke...
See, Luke has never been my favorite character in Star Wars. I've always appreciated him. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not that I disliked him. I've always found him a little whiny, though.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him to grow up to be a cranky old man, I'm like, well, whiny youngster equals cranky old man. Like, those two fit together.
Right.
I kind of get that.
There's just, like, I don't know, I guess... The end of Force Awakens was such a vivid memory, I think, for all of us. You know, it's
okay, yeah.
Rey meeting Luke and giving back the lightsaber, and then for him to just go, throw it behind him, and it's like, okay, I feel like that was you were getting lobbed a softball, man. Like, just just fucking hit the thing out of the park, Rian Johnson. He's just like, nah, I want to do something different. I want to do something a little different.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just. To me, like, there was no training of Rey. It was,
that I agree with.
She became more powerful from swinging a stick at rocks. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Like, come on.
At least show me like a 1980s Rocky montage or something.
Who would not want to see that? And we get that montage a little bit in the beginning of Rise of Skywalker.
Yes. We do get that.
Which was pretty cool, which was pretty badass, but late. Come on.
I honestly... What I would have loved to have seen was, and this is hard, and they sort of did it at the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, would just be Luke saying, Leia's the one that needs to train you. Yeah. Because, I will show you how to do a force wave and all this other stuff. Leia needs to train you. I can't teach you how to be a Jedi. I will teach you some of the moves.
Yeah.
Go to Leia. I would have loved that. And granted, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher passed away, and there's so much that couldn't be done because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But The Last Jedi was filmed before that happened, so it wasn't being set up for that either.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But I would have loved to seen something along those lines of, like, I'm not training you to be a Jedi. If you want to know how to swing a sword, I'll teach you how to swing the lightsaber. I won't teach you how to be a Jedi. You need to talk to Leia, or you need to talk to, anyone. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And so it's all wishful thinking.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I skip. That's going to be the one I skip. Last Jedi is the one that I skip.
I won't skip it. I like Last Jedi better than Phantom Menace. Like, Phantom Menace, I'm watching for maybe 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah.
Last Jedi, I'm skipping 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah, it's true. The parts with Snoke and Kylo is fucking awesome. I don't think people talk about him enough. I love
Kylo. He is awesome.
I love his character. He's probably one of my favorite characters, honestly. Like, he's
Adam
awesome.
Driver plays him so well.
Oh,
because he's half whiny brat,
mm-hmm.
like Luke was, he's half badass in a way Luke never was, because he's a villain, obviously.
Mhm.
But like that whole conflict of emotions, and then like even in The Last Jedi, you're like, is he good? Is
Yeah,
he
you're not, you
bad?
don't know.
You know. And yeah,
He's truly torn. Yeah, he knocked it out of the park. I thought the casting
did.
was great for
Mhm.
him. I like the look of him. Like I know that
yeah.
people complain about everything. They're like, "Oh, why
Oh,
is
of
his
course.
shirt off in this?" It's like,
I
dude,
know.
who fucking cares? Come on, that's really
Right.
what you're like.
That's what you're gonna be. That's what you're gonna complain about. Yeah.
Oh, he looks good with his shirt off. Fuck him. I don't know. It's just like nerd rage or jealousy. I don't know what it is.
It's you know what, there comes a time when the Star Wars fan base is just so big
Yeah,
that there's always going to be somebody to complain.
it's
Like
true. Yeah.
you can't please everyone, you know.
No, these are the same people that go to Hawaii and they complain that it's too nice. You know,
Right.
like it's just
Like I went to Florida, it was too hot. You went to Florida, what'd you expect?
right, exactly. Some people, man, they just I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not happy in certain areas of their life, and this is the thing that they choose to I don't know vent or let out their frustrations in, and they feel like it's a
Yeah.
piece of it's theirs. You know, like I don't know.
hmm
Well, wow, we talked about Star Wars for a long time, man. That was awesome.
We did.
That was a lot of fun. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to let people know, or pretty much?
No,
good?
that's probably good. Yeah. I should probably, in theory, go create my outline for our podcast tonight.
You guys should talk about Star Wars stuff.
We should.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man. Really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, I'm glad you invited me. It was a good time.
Absolutely, man. We'll have to once this crap's over. We'll have to have a meetup somewhere. We'll have to go to like Celebration or something. That would be sweet. If this
Yeah.
crap dies down, like get all the boys and gals together and.
I am all for that. We actually, my old guild, we did that.
Oh, really?
All the officers in the guild, I felt so bad. So they flew up to me, and it was like the first week in November. And I live in Connecticut, and you know, every like 4 years we'll have a late October, early November snowstorm. But other than that, it's usually you're safe up until December.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys fly up, and the whole plan is to hit like 6 breweries in the area, and and then all of a sudden they fly in and it just starts snowing. Doofine, hey, welcome. I'm glad you were here.
What's up, Doofine? Yeah, normally we do 9:30 every other Monday, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. But so they flew up and we had an awful snowstorm. I mean, we still went to the breweries, don't get me wrong. But then we have stories about an Uber driver in the snow that like picks us up, and literally we're drunk and trying to push the car out of the parking lot 'cause they didn't pull out of the parking lot. And yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
But I mean, I'm all for like if there's just when we can actually have a Star Wars celebration again,
right.
a meetup or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, check out the Gambit podcast if you haven't. You've probably heard me talk about them numerous times on our show because they're really doing great stuff over there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, keep it up, man. You guys are awesome. Glad you're finally getting. I feel like your channel is growing. You know, you guys are doing great on Twitch.
Yeah, I think the
and
Twitch
YouTube.
move was a huge move for us.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a great medium, and now you guys are being showcased for what you are, and that is true like GAC experts and getting to do it live in front of people and really cool stuff. I'm glad that it's working out for you guys. Hope it keeps growing
Thank
from
you.
here.
Yeah,
Well, and thanks again for being on the show, and
of course.
hope you guys your podcast will be out tomorrow, right? You guys.
Yeah,
release typically?
we're recording in about an hour and a half, and usually what happens is I convert the audio and send it up to Zareth basically as soon as the podcast ends, and then he posts it. You know, he does a little bit editing where it needs to be done, then gets posted within an hour of us stopping.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely check it out. I will be downloading it always, like I always do.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, man. Well, have a good one, and to all of our people who tune in, we appreciate you, and don't drink and hyperdrive. Almost nailed it.
Almost.